The Cheeseboy 628 Show, starring Cheeseboy 628.
Hey YouTube, what's going on? This is Cheeseboy628 here today, giving you an OU tier Wi-Fi battle, and this is not a Token Minorities tournament match today. This is something a little bit different. That's still a competitive match, just want to be a little bit different today. There's definitely more tournament matches to come, but I just wanted to have a few different teams this week. So, talking about my team a little bit, I got the Firewater Grass Core, Special Defensive Heatran, Physical Defensive Chestnut, and Custom Set Rotom Wash, and then hit really hard, I got the Mega Medicham, got the 4 attacks Landorus, and Life Orb B-Sharp. Now looking at my opponent's team, he's definitely got quite a few threats. I need to be most wary actually of his Noivern and Starmie as they outspeed my entire team, so I'll have to find ways of getting some damage on them. But let's see how this battle goes. So I'm going to start with my Rotom Wash, as it is pretty good coverage against most of his team, as he's going to bring in his Rotom Heat. And then this is my buddy Hot Shock. We've been friends for a pretty long time. He's a decent battler for sure. Now I don't know if this Rotom Heat is offensive or defensive, and I do have a decent amount of speed EV, so I was hoping that the Hydro Pump would outspeed, but that's not going to be the case. So he's going to go in his Ferrothorn, which will of course eat up any hits that I have to offer, and so I'm just going to go for the Volt Switch here. It's not really worth the Will-O-Wisp extra damage because I'm thinking he's just going to layer up hazards, as I do not have a Spinner or Defogger, so I don't want any of that pressure coming on my team. So he's going to go for his Stealth Rocks here, as I now bring in my Heatran, and the Lava Plume should definitely scare him out, or some kind of Fire Stab, so I'm going to be able to go for the Rocks here. Now it brings in his Starmie, so it's kind of a 50-50 here. Does he want to go for the Spin, or does he want to go for some form of Water Stab in order to do some nice damage to me? Well, I'm especially defensive, so I'm not going to take too much, but I also go for the Earth Power, which doesn't do too much either. And I do see he has lefties, so he's probably more of a defensive Starmie, but Starmie isn't that bulky in the first place, so I don't necessarily agree with that set, although it took the hit decently nicely. So he's going to go for the Scald, I hope once again, but he actually goes for the Spin because he sees that the Earth Power really isn't doing too much. So all I know for right now is he has Scald and Rapid Spin. I'm wondering if his last two moves are coverage or one of them is recover. I'm not sure, we'll see later. But as I bring in my Rotom Wash pretty darn safely, I'm able to go for the Volt Switch definitely for free right now. So I'm able to go forward, do some really nice damage to his Noivern. For some reason he brings that in. And so now I can just bring in my Special Defensive Heatran, probably wall anything this has to offer. Unfortunately the rocks are up right now, so I'm taking residual damage every time I come in. So I'm going to be able to go for the rocks right now though, which will be nice, because that will be pretty decent damage against his Noivern, and then put more pressure on his Starmie once again. Although I do not have a Ghosty, so there's not much I can do against this Starmie. This Starmie is going to be a huge problem to my team, and there's not going to be a very easy way to go about it. But if I do bring in my Rotom Wash again pretty safely, then I should be able to go for another Volt Switch, wear down his Noivern, and then after I'm able to take that out, hopefully, then I can start wearing down the rest of his team from there. So I do go for the Rotom Wash right now, switching, and I am able to take that Scald pretty nicely. I do have lefties as well, but after Rocks and Scald, you know, it is starting to wear me down. I can't go for the Pain Split, but I'm not sure what he's going to bring in. He actually does go for the Rapid Spin, and as he goes for the Rapid Spin, I go for the Volt Switch. So this should do a decent amount, and yes, it does a ton, and I'm so glad I got that damage, because that way I can get the Rocks out later, hopefully? Not sure. But now I bring in my B-Sharp, and he doesn't know what kind I am yet. Maybe I'm Dark Plate with Pursuit, you never know, but he is going to withdraw. And here I have the option of going for the Swords Dance or the knockoff. Swords Dance would be somewhat risky, but also extremely effective if I did have that option, but I do decide just to go for the knockoff, as it is probably the best idea for me. But I take the Iron Barbs, then I take the Rocky Helmet damage, and then I take the Life Orb. So it's not looking too nice for me in regards to how much damage my B-Sharp is taking, but I still have my Life Orb. I go for the Swords Dance, I'm at +2, and as much as it hurts to take the Iron Barbs and the Life Orb, I know a +2 B-Sharp. I'm pretty darn scary right now, but I do see he has that Rotom Heat, and so he actually goes for the Trick. And this is pretty weird because now I get the Scarf and he gets the Life Orb, so I'm going to outspeed. And so he still has an item, so I go for the knockoff, I take him out, which is amazing, because now I'm Scarfed, I'm +2, and well, although he brings in his T-Tar, you know, knockoff should still do a decent amount of damage. So he is going to Mega Evolve, this is his Mega T-Tar, and so I'm just hoping knockoff will be able to do at least a quarter. And it's looking pretty close, and he does have Substitute, so I'm like, oh shoot, if this does not break his Substitute, I'm in a decent amount of trouble. But it turns out I do get a crit here. I'm not sure if it mattered, it was really close it seems. so he is going to go for a Dragon Dance right now. So I'm not sure if he's going to outspeed here or not, depending on his bulk investment. Turns out he has a pretty close to max speed investment. I'm going to go for the knockoff here, and it's not a critical hit this time, and it does break his sub, so it's pretty fortunate for me. He can go for the crunch here, do some decent damage, and actually take me out, because T-Tar is a beast, especially Mega. And so unfortunately my B-Sharp does go down, but I do have a chance to pretty freely bring in my Medicham here, Mega Evolve, and just go for a nice Fake Out or Bullet Punch depending on my preference. But he does bring in his Aegislash, and I just want to be very sure about this, to be very careful. You just go for a nice Bullet Punch here, because I'm thinking at this range a Bullet Punch should be able to take him out. I don't want to risk going for the high jump kick or any other kind of attacks, because if I go for the Psycho Cut, I might hit his T-Tar that stays in to be as fodder or something and just die to a crunch. And of course his Aegislash counters me pretty well, so if I went for the high jump kick to be kind of really safe in regards to making sure to take him out, could just bring this in like he did, and I'd lose half my health for no reason. Now I bring in my Heatran here as he goes for the Shadow Sneak, and I have the chance to go for the Rocks or the Lava Plume. I do make, in my opinion, the correct play going for the Lava Plume. As much as Rocks are nice, I really want to take out this Aegislash. That Aegislash could have been a huge threat if I didn't take it out, and that Shadow Sneak barely let me live with 3 HP. So now he's able to pretty freely bring in his Noivern now, which is really unfortunate though, because you know that's really the best counter I have for this thing. And so I'm pretty sure he's locked into Air Slash right now, and that's where it gets really unfortunate. He goes for Air Slash and he flinches me. Oh my gosh, I apologize if there are crickets in the background. It is pretty late at night. Sorry for uploading this really late as well. Anyway, so my Rotom Wash does go down to the next Air Slash, which is really unfortunate because I just wanted to be able to take him out. But now I go to my quote-unquote more safe option of going to my Mega Medicham, because I could have just Fake Out and Bullet Punched with him. I was just thinking, I could have get some Volt Switch initiative with Rotom Wash. But of course that's not the case. I go for the Fake Out, and his T-Tar is pretty much fodder because he does know I had the Bullet Punch. Fake Out does decent damage, but it doesn't even matter judging by that damage, that the Bullet Punch definitely would take him out from the previous damage anyway. So I'm taking a lot of damage here from this Rocks, from the Sand, and it's just not too great for me. I'm feeling the Bullet Punch is not going to kill this Noivern, so I want to sack my Chestnut here, unfortunately. So there's not much I didn't really think it would have been able to do anyway, especially against the Starmie. I'm not sure. I mean, I know it's defensive, but I don't know how defensive necessarily. But now that I think about it, if I went for the Bullet Punch, maybe it would have been the best option. I'm still not sure if it would have taken him out. But if you did notice, the Air Slash did miss, so if I stayed in, could have went for one Bullet Punch, then definitely could have taken out with the second one. But now it's basically just going to be switching in and out here, seeing what's going on, and I do go for the Fake Out against his Noivern to try to take it out. It's close, but it's not the case, and now my Bullet Punch is going to be able to take out his Noivern, and that's great and all, but now he has this Starmie, and I'm thinking, okay, I've got to switch out here, just going to sack off my laner so I can go for the Fake Out, but here, he goes for the freaking Recover. He does have Recover, and depending on his speed investment, depends on if my laner is going to be able to take him out or not, because now there's no way a Fake Out is going to be taking him out from that range if he's defensive Starmie like he is, and it turns out his last move is freaking Ice Beam. I wonder if a defensive Skull would have been able to take him out. Doesn't even matter now, because apparently he has pretty close to max speed investment on a defensive Starmie. I'm not sure how that really works, but nonetheless, I've got my Medicham in here. I'm going to go for the Fake Out, and although it does a decent amount, he's pretty defensive. It's pretty bulky. I'm pretty surprised. It's pretty good. Credits to you, Starmie. Pretty. Should probably say less of that. Anyway, yes, he's going to take me out with a Skull, and that's going to be a pretty close 1-0 victory in his side. So, great match, man. I definitely told him a while back that I wanted to upload this. Finally got it for him, and great match, man. Hopefully we battle again sometime. So thank you all for watching. Like, comment, summon. Until later. Peace.